Senate Republicans reportedly divided over whether to pursue a third budget reconciliation bill before the midterm elections. Some lawmakers want package funding defense spending or extending tax cuts. Senate leaders warned that expanding reconciliation could delay current legislation and reopen old policy fights. Meanwhile, Senate Republican leaders reportedly are unlikely to hold additional votes on the Save America Act, the voter ID and proof of citizenship bill, saying that floor time is needed for other priorities like reconciliation and FISA legislation. I want to bring in Texas Congressman Roger Williams. Congressman, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. And this recent SAVE Act related amendment failed to get 50 votes in the Senate during the vote-a-rama. So your thoughts? I mean, the question mark is now whether the Save America Act is dead.
Well, I would hope not. It's pretty easy to vote for something like this. I mean, we want the right people voting. So I don't know. The Senate acts in different ways from the House. We passed some good legislation. We sent it to them, so let's see what they do with it.
All right. Well, obviously, the question mark is, is there going to be a third reconciliation package? You do that in the fall. There's concerns among you and other members that this might be too much to put on the agenda because of the time frame you're going to be pushing that too close to the midterms. What do you want to see happen?
Well, I'd like to see the SAVE Act pass. There's no question about it. I think that there's always time for good legislation, and we'll just have to see when we get back how it compares to what the Senate sends to us. But when you talk about SAVE Act and other things, I mean, this is the very basis of our country, and we need to get it right, and we need to do it now, I think.
What about the filibuster? I realize I'm asking you about the Senate, Congressman, but the president has been very clear and very vocal on Truth Social that he wants that filibuster eliminated. There's been a lot of resistance to that. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand with the president. I mean, there's no question if the Democrats get leadership, they're going to do exactly what we're wanting to do, what we should do. I understand the history of the Senate and so forth, but at the same time, this is real time now, and things are different. And I think we need to take advantage of our leadership and get some of these things passed.
All right. Well, we shall see. I want to move on to what we've been talking about all this week, and that, of course, is small business. This past week was National Small Business Week in Washington. You chair the House Small Business Committee, so it's great to have you. You wrote an op-ed for The Hill where you highlight the working families tax cuts, saying that the tax savings have helped drive hiring, business investment, and economic growth on Main Street. You say optimism is fueling job creation, wage growth, and an estimated $1.5 trillion boost to small business GDP. So tell us more about this op-ed and about kind of what you see happening in the underlying economy and small businesses. This is Jobs Friday, and as you know, small business is the driver of the jobs story.
Well, there's no question about it. We've got all this news that you report, Cheryl, every single day from Iran to Ukraine, you name it. But at the same time, we have to deliver a Main Street America, a strong Main Street America, strong small business. 99% of the businesses in America are small businesses. Half the payroll, half the workforce is generated by small businesses. We're seeing more people begin to start businesses than we've seen in the past. Optimism is good. I mean, the big, beautiful bill, I mean, is working. You take the tax cuts are now permanent. People know what their taxes are going to be. You got regulations. We saved community bank share with reducing regulations. It was choking them to keeping them from being able to loan to small businesses. You got 100% expensing for manufacturing. And one thing that we don't report on as much as we should is we've raised the inheritance tax limit from 30 million to, from 15 million to 30 million, which saves a lot of family businesses. Generational now can be passing their business on, which was not so in the past. And the tips and the overtime not being taxable are a huge deal. A lot of cash flow come to America from that. I had a lady the other day thank me for voting for no tax on overtime because now she can send her daughter to cheerleading school. That tells me it's working. Yeah, no, again, not just for the individuals from the big, beautiful bill, the act, but also for a lot of these small businesses because, and they're seeing that now in their returns this year because obviously that was retroactive to January 1st of 2025. And, there was a survey from the SBE Council. 61% of small business owners had better cash flow in 2025. I think you can tie that to the Big Beautiful Act. 73% positive about business conditions improving. And Maria had Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler on with her this week. Here's what she said about the state of small business.
This working family tax cuts was all about Main Street, but what it meant to small business is that they now have the benefit of thousands of dollars of tax relief to reinvest in their business, to grow and hire. And we know that small businesses create most new jobs across America. We just had a blockbuster jobs report last month, 186,000 new jobs. That's what tax cuts do for hardworking small business owners. I see it every day. I travel across the country nonstop. Every small business owner, factory owner points at what building he built, the big, beautiful building, because of the tax cuts, or how many more workers they're going to hire because of that tax relief. That's what President Trump fought for and delivered in just his first year.
Your reaction to that, Congressman?
Well, she's exactly right. Look, at any time you take money from the federal government and give it to Main Street America, small business owners, it's going to be spent in a proper way. And it is cash flow. It's cash flow. It's what we call in business additions to income that come in because you don't have to pay a tax bill. You can reinvest in equipment. You can invest in people. You can invest in infrastructure. It expands your business. It expands the economy. And when businesses like mine, I mean, I've been a Main Street owner for 57 years. Still have my business. But when businesses make money, they don't save it. They spend it. And they spend it on capital. They spend it on improvements. They spend it on equipment. And it ties in for 100% expensing, for example, with manufacturing. And Kelly Loeffler's done a fantastic job over at SBA. We've raised the manufacturing limit from $5 million to $10 million just several weeks ago, so businesses can expand and take more opportunity and hire more people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think her work has been incredible, Congressman. Let's talk about your state, the great state of Texas. You're seeing a boom in AI infrastructure. Digital infrastructure company Hut 8 signing a $9.8 billion data center campus deal in Texas. NVIDIA also partnering with Corning. They're going to build advanced manufacturing facilities in Texas. That's going to focus on optical technologies for AI infrastructure. Mr. Chairman, Texas builders reportedly are struggling to finish these new homes as data centers with these deep pockets are poaching electricians across the country. Maria spoke with Dina Powell McCormick. Listen to what she told Maria about this issue.
But it's a new phase for the company, and that's what Mark said when he announced my position, that frankly now we have to think about the capital, the energy, and the talent that is needed to fuel our AI ambitions. Some estimates have it at over $10 trillion that will be needed over the next several years. Can you believe that?
Wow.
$10 trillion of capital is going to be required. Over 250 gigawatts of power are going to be needed, and millions of new roles. Just in the next 2 years, America is going to need 500,000 new electricians. I mean, just think about that. And so one of my big focus areas is that I co-head a division at Meta called Meta Compute, where we're really trying to bring together the capital, both formation and use of our balance sheet and strategic capital partnerships with the energy needs.
It's all about the energy, Congressman. Your reaction?
Well, it is all about the energy. That's why they're coming to Texas, for a lot of reasons, tax-wise and so forth, opportunity. We've got the land. We've got the entrepreneurs. So we need more builders. We need more electricians, for example, with what's happening. I think so. Texas is where they need to go. Texas is growing. These data centers are huge. They're employing a lot of people. And I think the fact, too, that President Trump has told the builders to generate that they have to generate their own economic conditions like electricity and water and so forth. Comfort somewhat some of the communities that are getting these data centers put in.
Congressman Roger Williams, there's so much happening in your state. It's always great to speak with you, sir. Thank you for being here.
God bless.
All right. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us. A lot more coming up.